What's up, guys? This is Matt Dollar, and I'm here with the second round of the East Roswell Frisbee Trail Championship. And after round one, we have myself in the lead with Joey Lutz 1 behind, Chad Yeatts and Adam Ray 3 behind. Joey is out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and sponsored by Prodigy Disc. Then Chad and Adam are both Georgia natives. Adam lives in the Atlanta area, and Chad, I believe, floats between Atlanta and Macon. So we're starting on hole number 1 today. Hole 1 is about 380 feet, I believe. Definitely scores more like a par 4 than a par 3. Chad's going with a tomahawk off the tee there.
That was good.
Chad uses a lot of tomahawks and some thumbers. Adam Ray, everyone just calls him A-Ray, going with the backhand there. So I'm going with the soft Zenith on my upshot. Able to lock it up, get away with a par.
Perfect.
A-Ray throws a beautiful upshot too, skips just a little past. Chad looks like he's lining up a tomahawk from a knee. Chad has great touch on the tomahawks. And Joey threw a really nice drive. Got him pretty far down, just off the right edge of the fairway. And that'll be good enough for Joey to get a par. Chad goes into crane range. Looks like a Josh Childs move right there. Whenever Josh gets pretty close to the basket, he goes up onto one leg, and we usually just call it crane range. So for the rest of this video, Chad Yeatts, when he goes into that motion, it will be known as crane range. So A-Ray knocks in his par. Me and Joey do the same. Pars all around. That's a good shooting on hole number 1. We go into hole 2, the shortest, or maybe next to shortest hole on the course. Hole 2, boy, I hear a lot of out-of-towners comment on the locals throwing overhands here. Because this hole, it has a good line to throw a backhand or a forehand. But there's just so many trees out there that it seems like the locals definitely prefer the overhand. So we got Chad. Chad lines up a thumber. You don't see Chad throw that many thumbers, just usually the tomahawk, but this hole definitely suits the thumber line. And then A-Ray's coming back with a thumber too, going with a Firebird. Great thumber from A-Ray. Beautiful shot. And here's Chad back in crane range again. Able to knock home that birdie. I was also able to wobble one in there with my soft spike. And A-Ray will look for his birdie putt. A-Ray just a bit off the left side of the chains, had good height. Not exactly sure what A-Ray putts with, but it's some kind of Prodigy putter. And Joey will tap in his. So we got 3 birdies and a par, moving on to hole number 3. Hole 3 is pretty long, it's about 390 feet. Kind of a sharp turn to the right. It's a really good hole for a flex shot. So you can go inside of this big tree pretty far down the fairway, or you can go outside of it. And the inside route is definitely a lot shorter to the basket, but you generally see people take the outside route. I'm not sure if anyone really aims for either, or if they just throw it as hard as they can with Anheuser. But that's generally what I do. Joey just threw one of the best sidearms probably ever thrown on this hole. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen a sidearmer park it for a 2 before. So there was lots of side action in this tournament too. And I actually birdied this the first round, and I had the CTP from when I played it, which was my second hole of the day, all the way until Joey just threw that massive sidearm right to the basket. A-Ray got a chance for a long 2. Lining one up. Drops it short. So we're looking at 3 pars. If crane range pays off. It does. Where's Joey at? Let's see. He still hasn't thrown his second shot, and we're all tapping in for par. He must be parked. And that CTP definitely held up for Joey there. So Joey gets the only birdie, and we move on to hole number 4. I really struggled on hole 4 this whole weekend. Pretty easy hole. Joey shows you exactly how it's done right there.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird range though. It's right in between mid-range and fairway driver distance. I was trying to throw a fairway driver, I think, every round during this tournament. Just never really threw a good shot. Chad goes with a sidearm. Man, that was looking really good until it hit that tree right in the edge of the gap. A-Ray pulls out some kind of driver and goes backhand. Wow.
Nice shot.
That definitely looked like it was close to acing. Probably went just in front of the chains. Chad looks to be just outside of crane range. Gives it a pretty good bid. Chad is actually eligible to play Masters these days, so he usually does that. But there was no Masters division in this tournament. Let me tell you how much the local Masters players love playing against a guy like Chad, who looks like he's 30 years old at most, and throws 350-foot tomahawks all over the course. But Chad is a super nice guy, and always a joy to play with, so I guess they can't get too upset when he's taking all their money. So we move on to hole number 5, playing it as a par 4. Joey turns his over a bit. If it did not get lucky, then it won't be a good spot. A-Ray goes over there too. I go a little more straight up the middle there. That's what you want to do on this hole. I believe that was an enforcer I threw right off the tee. And Chad just goes with the tomahawk. No big deal. So at this point, Joey's taking the lead by a stroke after his 3 birdies in a row. A-Ray's second shot seems to go off quite a bit to the left. There's a big hill over there that goes down onto hole 3, so we'll see what he has to work with when we get over there. Joey didn't get too far in on the right side. He's able to just throw a sidearm out of there. Looks like it's pretty good. It was heading towards the basket. Hard to tell, though. Chad's lining up another tomahawk. I bet he's the only person who played this hole with back-to-back tomahawks. Looks like he may have come up a little bit short left. Not sure what I threw the upshot with here. It looks like a Cena's probably. So A-Ray did get a little ways down that hill. He's not able to beat that tree on the way back up. That's not good news for A-Ray. So his 4th shot, he'll just have to pitch it under the basket and accept his bogey. Not the best putt from myself there. Probably should have went into crane range, like Chad. Chad and Joey tap out for their birdies. I'll settle for par, and A-Ray will take a bogey. And we'll move on to hole 6. The slightly epic wooded tunnel hole over a hill, or over a valley and up a hill, with a walking path right behind it. It's about 300 and... Actually, I think it may only be about 340, but it plays about 380. Joey cheats just to the right of that tree in the fairway, but then finds another one a little further down. Should be able to save a par from over there, though. Chad goes forehand. Gets off the fairway, but Looks like he found a hole through there and made it pretty far. I'm going with the hatchet, and just got a little too much turn. Gonna put me over on the right side. Easy 3, but probably not much of a look at a 2. A-Ray follows suit. He misses just to the right of that tree that Joey did. And keeps turning. So Joey is a little bit off into the stuff on the left-hand side. It can be tricky over there. He's able to putt one up there and give himself a putt for par. Me and A-Ray are in pretty similar positions. He hyzers around. We're going to switch back over to Chad here. I guess Chad did hit a tree off the tee because he was a lot further back than I thought he was. So I'm going to try to go with an anhyzer around these trees. Catching a lot of basket today. Not making a lot of long putts though. Oh, tough break for A-Ray after catching a little bit of a roll on his upshot there. He misses the putt just barely and will take a bogey. Joey's in for par. So is Chad and myself. So we move on to hole 7. Tunnel shot over a valley and then a slight left turn. 342 feet, I believe. So one of the coolest things about this tournament was that we did live scoring for every group, and we did it after every hole. So one person on each card had to be responsible for live scoring. I did it for my group pretty much the whole tournament. And it was really neat to be able to have everyone score after every single hole for the entire 72 holes. So I wish more tournaments would do that or would encourage players to do the live scoring. Pretty amazing thing to be done just for a C tier. It looks like I've thrown a really good drive again with that culverin. It's weird how things work out in tournaments. This being one of my home courses, hole 7 is one of the holes that I don't birdie very often, but in this tournament I seem to hit the proper line almost every time. So what we call this little valley down here is Death Valley, but really that only applies if you're off the fairway. Joey was not off the fairway, so not really in Death Valley. Chad, however, is in Death Valley. It is so hard to save a par from down in there. He's looking for some kind of overhand route for sure. There's no way you're throwing a backhand from down in there. This is actually Chad's 3rd shot. So if he makes an amazing up and down here, he would get a 4. He's got a pretty clean round going so far. This will be his first bogey. Or worse.
Shot.
Wow, that was a great shot from Chad. It's really tough to get that far out of there. Oh, I really wanted that birdie too. Put me almost in the same position as earlier, but couldn't quite finish this one out. Hit it just a little bit high. So now I've got Joey trying to save par. It's probably only about 30, 35 feet. Has some stuff in the way though. Has the line just a little bit low. So A-Ray also needs to make this to save his par. And that's going to be 3 bogeys in a row for A-Ray. Crane range for Chad. And he knocks it in there. So we got 3 bogeys and a par. Not too much gray going on that hole for us. and we move on to hole number 8. Hole number 8 is that short par 4. I'm throwing a thumber with my Felon. Try to get a hard skip to the right. Worked out pretty good that time. Joey goes with the sidearm, as you would expect. It is definitely a sidearm friendly hole. Although you really don't aim for a particular gap once you get down there. You're just trying to cut into the woods and head to the right. So, plenty of times you will see a good shot go down about the appropriate amount of distance and then hit a tree and roll back out. So Chad's early right. This is also not an easy place to save from.
Great shot.
Wow, Chad is just a magician in the woods today. That was a beautiful forehand. It's going to give him a good chance at saving a birdie. A-Ray has went a little too far straight off the tee, and so now he has to hack through some woods instead of having an actual route to go back. I'm going with the soft C-ness on my upshot here. Ooh, that had a good look to it. Thought it might go in when I threw it. Even after it deflected that tree, I thought it still might have a chance, but a birdie is a birdie. So I guess Joey's sidearm off the tee was actually pretty good. He looked disappointed. It must have like hit something and kicked left or a little bit forward. I guess, I mean, he threw it good enough he could have got way up there because he was just basically jump putting to get his birdie. So 3 of us pick up birdies there, and A-Ray picks up another bogey. Actually, A-Ray got away with par on that one. I went with the thumber again here on hole 9 and hit a tree yet again. Joey crosses his fingers and hopes to get through. I think Joey's played here enough to have a little local knowledge, and that being that even the good shots on some of these holes, you gotta cross your fingers and hope to get lucky. So, great shot from Joey. A-Ray actually just threw a pretty good looking shot down there. He went with a forehand, and I'm not sure where he ended up, but it looks really good. So I'm just trying to jump putt down and get my par. Chad's also over here on the right side, just short. Chad putts down there to get his. So Joey, holy cow, he skipped way past the basket. This is about the longest I've ever seen someone go past this basket. There's so many trees you just don't even think you could get there. Boom! Joey just dropped a bomb on us right there. Great shot from Joey. Great birdie. A-Ray's parked. He gets his birdie. And this will be the last hole that we do in this video. And we will be back shortly with the back 9. And we'll also have rounds 3 and 4. So I really appreciate everyone watching. Thanks to Carla Siewert for filming. Thanks to Latitude 64 for their support. Thanks to Mike Azimi and Brian Gort for running this event. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can catch up on all my disc golf videos. Have a great day.